Good afternoon, folks. It's a long overdue version of Crazy Rebel Bastard coming at you today, Saturday, May, was it 17th, 18th, something like that. Let me look at the thing here. 18th, May 18th. And springtime, things get busy around the house. Gotta get outside, gotta take care of this, that, and the other thing. Uh, Laziness. Um, Trying to stay off of Facebook for a little while here and there, just kind of checking in, checking out. Uh, don't really care for how they're watching things, taking things down of a conservative nature. Not real cool, so I just kind of backed off a little bit. But lately now, something's been happening, and I felt the need to make a new video. It's time I do. And I'll start right off by saying I'm not sure how the language is going to be, so I'm just going to put an explicit warning out there. There could be some language in this particular video. In the very first video I made, I had said I'm going to watch that and not have that, which I've tried to do, but I'm just going to come out and say, no, emotions are high on this one. Everyone takes it really, it gets kind of to a personal level. So if I'm explaining myself and I get a little animated, some words might drop that I might not be particularly fond of, or there's no other word to get the emotion out, and it may be used. So let me just put that warning out there. I do have children who will be seeing this, I'm sure, and children's friends and people from church and whatnot. And it's just, I'm an imperfect person who has to get his feelings out there, and sometimes to speak to people, you need to talk their language. You know what I'm saying? Um, okay. Uh, Apparently, I'm a little out of the loop here a little bit since I just tend to stay off this thing a little bit. But something went down in Georgia or Alabama or some state, something with abortion, and I guess it kind of favored the conservative side. Um, got to really look into that, but apparently some law got passed in the state, and it's just set everybody off. Um, So without knowing everything that's going on down there, that's that state or states. It's not this one. I'm in Wisconsin. Um, I think I might have talked about abortion before. I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm not really titling these things real well in my personal archive, so I got to work on that. But if I have talked about it, this will be abortion part two. Um, I've just seen a lot of ugly posts out there, and some not so ugly. True that. Um, there's feelings on both sides, but some got really, really crazy. So I'm just going to try to break this down for those really crazy ones out there. And hopefully I don't get too far in the weeds. I might get a little long-winded on some things. I'll try to keep it short on these different points. Hopefully I'm going to make this a 15, 20-minute video, not much longer than that, I hope. That's the goal. Okay, that being said, um, those of you who know me know I'm pro-life. And I know a lot of you out there that I know are pro-choice, and both sides, cool, great. We're all good there. Um, Here is the big problem, though. What got me fired up this morning and got me paying attention to things was uh, there was a post about, well, Christians don't want abortion and they're fighting abortion, and where are Christians stepping up to take care of all those who are getting adopted and no fathers, and they're in the system now, and they're basically all the bad side of life that way is put onto Christians. And wouldn't abortion just solve this whole problem? So they're not a drain on society or on the system. Um, and wow, that just got me like thinking about this a little bit, and the the ignorance behind the no that ignorance can be taught. Let me take that back. I hate the name call, but stupidity behind that kind of a post is insane. I'm going to redirect this camera here a little bit. I get cozy. Oh, not too close. um, let's go at it this way first. Going after Christians because we don't give to charities, we don't support those who are, we're not adopting these kids out of adoption agencies. We talk a good game. We want pro-life. We want these kids to be born. But then when they're born, we're not there to help support them. And we're the problem. We're the ones who are just letting these people fall to society's wayside, this, that, and the other thing. Okay, first of all, Christians, thank you for acknowledging that there are some of us out there who are giving to charities and are attempting to take care of some of these things. Some of us are not. But let it be known, in the Muslim community, and I guess I should have, let me back up before you know where this is going now, but the whole thing of it is the whole women who are raped, incest, and the welfare of the mother if there's a problem with the pregnancy or the delivery. Everyone goes to those fail safes when they talk about abortion. What about incest? What about those women who are raped? If the life of the mother is in danger, we should be able to abort the baby to save the life of the mother. Okay. Ground rule number one. Let's talk about the 98% of abortions that don't cover that stuff. Let's talk about the 98% that is just people using abortion as a means of birth control. We'll take care of the other 2+% at a later date. I acknowledge that that is there. That is a different conversation, one I'm open to having, and there's points to be made there, and I agree. There are issues out there, but it's on a micro level compared to the macro level of abortions for all, whenever, however. Okay, that's what I'm dealing with now, the 98% of abortions. Okay, let's just get that definition when I'm talking about abortions. I'm referring to the 98%, not the 2. We'll address that later. Now, the Muslim community as a whole, going off of the Quran, and whether they admit it or not, it's a fact, kill women who are raped, murder them, because obviously they did something to instigate the rape. Whether the way they look, the talk, the way they dress, however if you want to call a burqa sexy, I don't know. But if women are raped, especially over in their home countries, they are murdered. They become aborted. Okay? So before you start lumping Christians into helping these babies or not helping these babies, let's talk about the ones, the rape victims being murdered because they were raped and it was their fault. All right. So if you want to include Christians in on this, you damn well better include Muslims and every other blessed religion out there. You single Christians out, your argument holds no water. It's baseless, frivolous, and a total freaking sham. So just drop that shit right now. Because I will bring up Muslims all day long killing women who are raped and blaming them for the rape. That's bullshit, and that's where that ends. Number one. 2, blaming old white men going back to 1942 for being in charge of what a woman does with her body today. These are elected officials. Women, you vote a man in, deal with the consequences. That's the way that is. You want a woman in office, vote them in office. But the people making the laws are male and female. If yours happens to be male, duly elected. That's the country we live in. And a little side note here on that bar, the country we live in, which you all rip apart and destroy and verbally abuse, this country, who admittedly has made mistakes, tends to correct them or makes every effort to correct them. And not only does this country try to correct the mistakes they've made in the past, they put it in writing called the amendment process. You tell me, you show me another country that is willing to do that and put it in writing, I'll back down. But you keep ripping on the very country that's given you the right to speak, the right to have a voice, and to go out and share your thoughts and views and not be punished for it, not be thrown in jail for it, and not be killed for it. It just baffles me that people who want to bash and rip on this country is the very country that's given you the right to rip and bash this country. And if you want to change it, you must not want to talk about your feelings, your issues, your beliefs, because the country you're voting for will not allow you to do that. Take a look around at what's going on right now in countries around the ones you aspire to be like. See what they say about people like you who speak up against the laws and against the whatever the hell it is. They don't have constitution. The laws of their homeland. When they speak out against it, see what happens to them. Is that what you want? Get a clue. So stop ripping on the very country that's giving you the right to do it. It's this blessed country that's supporting you. Do not bite the hand that feeds you, because when it goes away, you ain't going to have shit. Nothing. A big zero. Now, little sidetrack there. Let's get back to the abortion thing. We talked about Christians. The old white men, yes. Apparently, the old white men are the only voice for these children. It's all about the voice for the woman who wants to, we shouldn't be telling women how to, what to do with their body. Old white men have no business in that. Probably young men too. I'll just assume men in general have no business telling women what to do with their body. And you know what? You're right. We don't. We don't have any right to tell you what to do with your body. But until someone can show me who is a voice for the unborn child in your womb, I am going to speak up for the voice of that child. I give a shit about your body. Unless you happen to be family friend. Okay, then I care. But my voice right now, for all I love and do not, friends I haven't met yet, enemies, whatever. My voice is for the unborn child. That's what my voice is for. I don't care what you do to your body. But someone's got to speak up for these children, because they have no voice yet. Which brings me to the next point. The child, or the fetus, the matter inside you that grows, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the child. This is just the most baffling thing to me of all. It really, how people, the human mind is, it can justify anything. It can justify any positive thing and something enormously fantastic. Molehills in the mountains and vice versa. It can take the most heinous thing and make it justified. The human mind can justify anything. But when it starts defying laws of physics, common sense, that's when it gets stupid. I always said it. Ignorance can be taught. That's cool. I got patience all day long and twice on Sundays for that. Stupidity, I have no patience for. When you have a fertilized egg inside of you and it grows, it is alive. It has DNA. From the moment there's conception, there is DNA. And that DNA is the book of how you will become, the color of your eyes, your hair, how tall you'll be, how short you'll be, big, tall, fat, skinny, whatever. There is life there. Like with leaves, trees, plants, animals, anything alive on this earth has a DNA printout. It is alive. You cannot tell me, when does a person become a person? At conception, at birth? It's growing. Anything that grows lives. Okay? This is common sense. You take a seed, a little teeny seed. It ain't growing. It ain't doing a damn thing. It's just sitting there. But as soon as you put it in the dirt, i.e., the womb, and you fertilize it, i.e., sperm, it grows. It gets bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. If it grows, it lives. If it grows, it has DNA. Okay, let's just get that. It's a life. Whether you want to hear that or not, I don't care. But you are not going to sit there and tell me, anyone, that it is not a life after conception has been made. It's just stupid. If it grows, it lives. Okay? End of story. So now that we've established that, when when you take that embryo, fetus, child, and take it from you, you're killing a life. Your body is your choice. You are taking another body and killing it. Okay? Speaking of the 98%, your woman's choice was unprotected sex or not unprotected sex. That was your choice. That's where you had a choice to make. Women's choice is what you do with your body. And when the biological scene occurs and conception happens, it is no longer your choice. It is your responsibility, along with the dudes. Okay? Guys don't get the choice to pay or not pay when they decide they don't want to get married and they're not going to get married because of a child and all that. That's fine. Okay. They don't get to choose whether they pay for that child or not. They pay. Whether they actually do or not, then you get paperwork, you get injunctions, you get whatever. There's legal ramifications. The guy goes to jail for so many years. But they're obligated to pay, whether they want to or not. But yet somehow you seem to think you have a choice on getting rid of that baby or not. It's your responsibility to have that baby. If you don't want that responsibility, then make the right choice. It takes two. If one's got to be responsible, then so does the other. That's the way it goes. Now, going back to the Christian thing a little bit, how it's our fault. It's society's fault. All the do-gooders who are pro-life, they don't do nothing for the baby once it's born. They don't support this, they don't give to that charity, they don't do adoptions themselves, da 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 da. When did this become our fault? Why is this our problem? Yeah, there are people that give to charities. Yeah, there are people that do adoptions. Does every Christian family adopt a baby? No. They have their own, the right way. Or, like myself, they start out the wrong way, but they do the right things to correct it. Why aren't people more upset with the people that had the baby out of wedlock or in high school? Why aren't we directing some of this anger and ire toward them? They're the ones that decided to lay down. They're the ones that decided to have sex. They're the ones that decided to have to chance a baby. There is no ramifications for them at all. And the solution is abort the baby. Let's kill the baby. It ain't the baby's fault either. No one is talking about the people who made the bad choice. What the hell is that? And not only are you not blaming the people who made the bad choice, you're blaming people who had nothing to do with the conception of that child, made the bad choice. Thank God they opted to have the baby, but now it's the Christian's fault for not supporting it because that's no. The people who make the bad choice, the wrong choice, however you want to look at it, need to step up and take care of that child. End of story. Let me give you a funny analogy if you want. Over the years, my belly's gotten bigger, considerably bigger from the time I was 20. So now I find myself going into your Dairy Queen, Arby's, whatever, and you could sit at a booth or at a table. Well, I used to like sitting in booths. They were cozier. Well, guess what? I sit in a booth, and now my tummy is starting to touch the table. There ain't a whole lot of room in those booths anymore. It's kind of uncomfortable and makes me feel fat. Because I am fat. Fatter. I prefer sitting at a table now. But I like the booth. By your guys' way of thinking, that restaurant should accommodate me. I made the mistake of overeating to a degree. My fault. But I want to come in there and I want to buy food. So they should make them booths a little wider so I could fit. No. I do not expect the restaurants to accommodate me and my fat ass to get in there. I should get out of that restaurant and start walking a dog or something. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit at a table. Chairs are a little harder, but I deal with it because I'm a little bigger. It's my fault. Only my fault. I'm not asking anyone to make any special arrangements for me because my stomach is bigger than the average dude who can sit there comfortably. Why is that anybody else's problem? Why should it be anybody else's problem? I can stand up all day and make the biggest stink. This is a public restaurant. I am the public and I demand to be in a comfortable booth. To me, that sounds absolutely insane. I got a feeling there's some of you out there going, yeah, that guy's got a point. We should do that. Stupid shit. Now, that's nowhere near the gravity of a human life, but it's not the child's fault that it's there and been conceived. Why would you? The only problem with this is that child don't have a voice. So you want to stick up for all these women and men, couples, who are opting to have abortions because of a bad choice that they made then, and you want to give them the choice now. That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. I heard a long time ago, whether you have an abortion or not, that baby stays with you. The memory of that child is always going to be with you. You're going to wonder, was it a boy or a girl? What was the child's name going to be? What if we would have had that kid? How old would that child be today? What would that child have done? Well, it doesn't matter because the child's not here. It's going to haunt you. Personal experience, not my personal experience. People, dear friends of mine from some time ago, shared this with me, saying, don't ever even consider this. This is horrible. This is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. Because we had made a mistake. And we couldn't afford the baby. It wasn't the right time. So we opted for an abortion. And now years later, here we sit. Just wondering. How horrific. Something you have to live with the rest of your life either way. And the guy told me, why don't you just give that baby a life and give it a chance? Do the best you can. Mistakes and all. Because that baby's going to be there either way. You might as well give the baby a chance. Just something to think about. I didn't really bring religion into this a whole lot. What God says and everything. But you know, when you watch videos of a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, got medical problems, they're on the table, they die for a while, they come back through the miracles of medicine. And they asked their mommy about their little sister who they never met before. Call her by name. The older sister the child would have had, but was lost to a miscarriage. Child never knew that that baby even existed. Never don't know what a miscarriage is. But mommy, I met her. Her name was whatever the name was. And the mom starts crying. How did little Billy know about this? You could say God's not real. God's, it's all fake, it's all hoaxes, whatever. But you know what? When you got a 4 or 5-year-old telling you he met his sister, who was never even born, only conceived and then lost to a miscarriage, there's going to be a lot of people up there who had abortions, who I'm sure regret and ask for forgiveness. We're going to be meeting that child. This is just the car God gives us. I told this to my daughter today. This ain't us. This is just the car we drive, this body. This is our model. Us is our spirit, our soul. That's who we are. This is just the vehicle we're driving in for now. The body dies. Body goes away. But your soul lives forever. What side of this you going to fall on? I don't know. But to hear people blaming other people for mistakes of the young, or if you're just not ready, whatever, you need to lay this at the feet of where it belongs. There is a choice women can make. Women's choice. This. Women have a choice. They're just choosing it at the wrong time. We need to accept responsibility for our actions. And if there's an oopsie, okay. Let's man up, let's woman up, and let's take care of our responsibilities. The two people that created that baby are going to take care of that baby. Straight up. The 98%. Remember that. DNA. For those of you who have no feelings on God, he has no play in this. He has no role. It's just those crazy Christians again. Well, let's see here. I need a book. Work with me. Follow me. I'm going to grab me a book. There's got to be one around here somewhere. My wife loves books. Here's one. All right. I got a book. Make sure I don't come unplugged here. Sorry about the camera. Okay. I got a book right here. Here's a book. Bound. Soft cover. Words. Pages. Cut to a specific size. It's bound there. I'm sure there's some of you that believe this just happens to show up and it gets created out of nothing. It just, hey, there's a book. And there's the majority of us that think intelligent design had to make this book. Someone had to have an idea, story, write it down, go to a publisher, hire an artist, photographer for the cover, and in the end, create this book, and then mass produce it and sell it. Intelligent design for a book. Or again, probably a few that think this book just drops out of the sky because a star exploded and we have a book. For those of us who believe in intelligent design, and some people got together and created this book, made it out of a thought, I'm going to talk to you. DNA is the book of life. We all have it. Animals have it. Plants have it. Like I said before, anything that grows has DNA. A miraculous code that tells a leaf what shape it's going to be, what color it's going to be, what tells a person, again, how many digits you have, don't have. When there's problems in the code, X and Y chromosomes, deformities happen, reasons for abortion happen, your DNA. Now, people are telling me that you're hearing a big explosion occurred, and it made microorganisms, and it made amoebas and atoms, and then over billions of years they formed into a turtle. Da 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 da. Well, what made the Big Bang? Something had to start somewhere. Well, the Big Bang by a bunch of gases. What made the gases? It keeps going and going. You cannot get something from nothing. Dawkins, I believe, tried explaining how you can get something from nothing, and he was laughed off the stage. Dawkins, whatever the hell his name is. So irrelevant? I don't even know, but it's something like that. You cannot get something from nothing. So, where does it start? Who created the book of DNA? Who gave each individual living thing on this earth the code to grow by? You can go back as far as you want, but something still needed to create it. You can deny that all day long and twice on Sunday. Explosions don't happen out of nothing. Amoebas don't transform out of nothing. Everything has its own DNA. And unless you believe that this book fell out of the sky because a star exploded and gave us a book, and you believe intelligent design had to create this, then don't be a hypocrite and say that intelligent design could not have created this earth. Because God's not real. I call bullshit. Because as soon as you admit there's a God, then you have to admit everything else about God. People don't like to be held to their own mistakes and held accountable. And that's a shame. Because once you admit those mistakes and you repent of those mistakes and you apologize and you try to do the best you can, it's a big weight off your shoulders. I can't even imagine going through this life and having to deal with an unwanted pregnancy and not having faith in God. What a lonely feeling that must be in that hospital room. Terribly, terribly lonely. This whole thing is just depressing. A lack of, when you disrespect life and you when you can take a child, that's what it is, and rip it out of your womb because you made a bad choice. You start the circle of life of disrespecting humans. Once you take that out, everything else just becomes cheap. Where does it end? People get old. Are they worthless now? I mean, you got the start of life. What about the end of life? We're drag on society when we get older, sucking up the health care, taking up the old age homes, $4,000 a month for care. People are just going to stop paying. We're better off dead when we get there, right? Your mom and dad's, me, I'm a parent, the 5 beautiful girls. You're going to kill me off? There's going to be a day I can't function anymore. I might not be able to go to the bathroom anymore. I do not want that to happen, but it does. Am I now worthless? Just a question. When it becomes inconvenient, like a baby, or so you think is inconvenient, but it actually isn't. I've learned this. But when you think something becomes inconvenient, you kill it? Are all you pro-choicers going to kill me? Or because I have a voice, it makes it a little more difficult? Well, guess what? If you elect the right people, it won't be so difficult. It'll become normal. These are sad days. Sad days. Blaming people for a death that you are responsible for to alleviate your guilt from a bad choice. The 98%. We will talk about the 2% at a later time if anyone so wishes. Right now, we're talking about the majority of situations that are going on, and infanticide is just rampant. And I'll promise to look into whatever law this was that got passed down south that's taking away all these women's rights and giving rights to an unborn child. Heaven forbid. Think about these things. If you're willing to kill a child, are you willing to kill your parents? It is the same thing. I have to tell you. You accidentally get pregnant because of a night of passion. Been there, done that. Pretty inconvenient. Changes, it's life altering. A parent gets old, needs support. Well, that child now has a new baby to take care of, only it's a whole lot bigger and probably more expensive. Pretty inconvenient. Am I next?